Hey guys, you're watching the one and only. My name is AJ. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Build a City. We're going to be taking a break from the Reis track today. We've spent 3 episodes in a row on it. I don't like to do more than 3 episodes in a row because I don't want people to get bored and stuff like that. So we'll be somewhere else for a couple of episodes and then we'll go back now and again and keep finishing it off. Today I want to work on some beach houses. It was a suggestion by a few people in this comment section to do beach houses in the style of GTA 5, those kind of beach houses. Now, we don't have anything along the lines of that in the UK. What we call beach houses in the UK are like little sheds that you find on the beach, like little beach huts. They're the sort of beach houses that we have. But in America, you know, where Hollywood and stuff like that, where GTA 5 is located, they have big actual houses. Well, not big, but they have houses along the beach line. And I don't know, some of them I think are houses, some of them I think are apartments or flats. So we're going to do sort of a mix of them. This is the beach that we obviously want to do it down. I don't want to get too close to the industrial stuff. I want another industrial building next to it potentially, or another 2. I don't know how big they're going to be. And I don't want to go too far this way because obviously we've got the nightclub, the pier, and eventually a stadium to go in here-ish. Somewhere about that size, I'm imagining, maybe a little bit smaller. So it sort of leaves us from here, about in line with this sign, I would say, to give us enough room. In line with that sign to in line with, like, probably the middle of this road here. So it gives us room for a few little beach houses. We don't need many of them because they are very similar. Now, because I don't have anything like this in the UK, I haven't really got anything to build on from experience. So this is going to be a little bit off the top of the head, like most episodes are. But I've got some reference pictures from Grand Theft Auto 5, but there isn't really any good pictures to go on here. So it seems to follow a relatively simple pattern. I don't know if I want that stair or that stair. I can't decide. A relatively simple pattern. They're very square buildings. There's not really any peaks, like triangle peaks on any of them. They usually have like a little area where you can sit at the top. And there's always like little balconies off the back. Usually like a big covered balcony with multiple levels. So let's say our first house is, there's the sign there, so anywhere down here will do great. Let's say our first house, the corner is here, because we're going to want some sort of driveway out the front in order to park the cars. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks as a driveway. It's the length of a car. It's the smallest driveway that we can really get away with unless we park the car sideways, which I don't really like doing. It makes it really awkward. For the width of the house, it shouldn't be that hard either. We want enough room for a window. We want enough room for a door. I usually do my doors 3x2s though. On this world, like that. I think it looks a little bit better of a size. And then we could either leave it like that, which could be a good idea. This is a very similar width to the houses on Rainbow Row, but they're just going to be sort of different styled houses, aren't they? They're different styled houses, and they're usually apartments. So the next one up, I could probably make these doors a little bit smaller potentially then, because on this next one up I want to have a break between the 2 floors. Obviously we don't want windows stacked on top of windows, and then we have another door here like this, and another window here like this, and then we'll go another one, I think. So we'll do it 3 stories tall for the time being. That one, this one here, I would assume. We can always go high. We can go 4, 5, 7 blocks high if we wanted to. But that should be, that should be pretty good. We're then going to need to have some sort of walkway and staircase to be able to get up these, which is going to be a little bit tricky because in real life you can make staircases quite steep. In Minecraft, we can either make them shallow using slabs, or steep using stairs, and that's the sort of only option that we've got. I might use these ones then. We'll grab some slabs as well to make the platforms a little bit thinner. Obviously we don't need anything on the bottom in order to get into it because you're already on the ground floor. But on this level we want to have, this is just a walkway, this is not the balcony's at the back of the house, but we need some sort of way to get up and down here. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this around the side of the house down here, and we're going to have a staircase that goes up around here-ish. Will the stair go there? It won't, but if I do that, it now will. So we have it like this. So that'll get us up onto there, and then we'll do this down this one. I don't know how I'm going to do the houses next to this. I don't know if I want them all detached, or if I want them attached like Rainbow Row is. So that goes down onto the floor here. And this will be like a little bit of an alleyway. And then what we need is a staircase that goes up here to... Whoops, I fell down. To this one up here. I think going with this sort of creamy clay is a good sort of neutral block to start with as well. No doubt we will have some sort of different coloured houses going on here as well. Now that's going to join up to there, that's no problem. Before we can really do that, we need to work out how deep these houses are going to be. So we definitely want to cover, what block is this? 59. 159, right? Yeah, 159. We definitely want to be able to be long enough to get the staircase in, but not so long that it looks out of proportion. We don't want it to look longer than what it is wide. That's good there. And then these wrap around the side. I'm going to have some sort of... I'm going to have some sort of... what would you call it? Block. Some sort of iron bar or something like that. So people don't fall off the walkway. So we can either have it like this or like this. Don't know which one I really prefer. I think if we're going to do it like that, I might as well do that. And have a little bit of a larger platform there. I think that looks pretty cool. It's pretty interesting looking, right? And it looks terrible at the minute. It's just like terrible at the moment, but it gets there. We have to sort of start off with a plan. If I'm not happy, then we scrap the the idea and we go with something else. It's definitely a tricky project, this. This isn't a simple one. So we've got ourselves 4 walls in, and like I said, it's a square building. We'll have a nice sort of top on it. Already, just putting the 4 walls up for some reason has really helped. But now we want the little balconies that come off this. So I need to work out exactly what the height of stuff is. So that would be the door. That would be this door. So we want a window. I'm going to reverse it around. So we'll have a window here and a door here. Is that right? How come it looks thinner on this side? Oh, because the door is like right on the edge. I sort of like that, actually, the door being right on the edge there. Would I like it on this side like that as well? I think so. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I've got a feeling that this is too low. I've got a feeling that's the better height. And then 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. So now we have the doors on the back side of the apartment thing. And I want to have a different block now. I want to have more of a nicer block, more of an expensive block to do this platform. So we're going to go with some sort of wood. I think spruce wood looks nice. It's sort of a little bit darker. Still goes with the cream well. And we want to have this 4 blocks out. 4 blocks out seems like a relatively nice size because it's going to get a little bit bigger with the blocks that hold everything in. So we have, I think 2 blocks will do around here. And down here. Like that. We need to do the same thing down here. I hiccuped. This block. Like this. And how many blocks? 4 blocks out. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do 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 And I will do it on the bottom here. I know it sort of doesn't make much sense, but it would be unfair if the bottom one didn't have one. I went too far. Like this. Plus, it keeps it all nice and uniform then, doesn't it? And like this. For the moment, I'll just take that out because it confuses me otherwise. This comes around here. And they come up the side here. Do this one and this one. Up that one. Here. And here. And then join the corners up. So we got ourselves some privatized balconies here. I need one more on the top. The top one would be actually a little bit higher. We would have to go up another block. Obviously, it needs a top on it. All the other ones have tops on them. And it would be on the top half of the second block. So this one right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright then. So we have ourselves a basic shell now for what we want to do. This one comes around here. And up there. This one comes around here. It's only one block thick at the top. So I might add another block above this because it looks a little bit, well, no, it actually looks okay, doesn't it, with like a thin one at the bottom and a thin one at the top and then two thicker ones in the middle, obviously to cover up all of the slabs. We need this one to run along the side here. Now, an interesting detail that they have on these houses is they have I'm going to go with slabs. I'm going to go with darker wood now, dark oak, and they have a little bit of accenting on here. So I'm going to put a little bit of accenting around here. It looks very similar to the spruce because the spruce is in the dark, but maybe if we get some lights inside of these balconies, it won't quite do that. It won't quite look as dark. I think I like it to where I done it on that side. So we're going to add another block over here. And we're going to do the same thing on this level. Did I go to the right amount? I did. Good. And down here. Yeah, that's the right one. So we should have ourselves three sort of, I don't know what you'd call them, like edgings. They're just like little detailed edgings. Looking more beachy now. We're looking a little bit more expensive, a little bit more higher end. We're going to get some nice grey or white slabs. I don't know which one would be good. White would probably accent a little bit better with the beach. Not that. That's not the right one. Now, if I put these here, I can still look over them, but only just. If I put them down here, it's then too low. Or we use a carpet. Instead, we go with some white carpet or brown carpet. We'll have a look at both. We'll do white first, because that's what this slabs was basically. So this is doing the same job as the slabs would be, which is just adding a little bit of colour to the top, but it's not giving quite the height of a slab. So that's what it looks like with white. I think white's going to look better than brown. I think if we put brown in, there'll be just too much brown. Nobody likes too much brown, right? We'll have these along all three of these. That one, this one, and that one. Looking pretty smart. Looking pretty smart. Now, for the top, for the roof of this, I am going to add another clay. I am going to add another clay because adding this next layer of clay allows us to put slabs on the bottom half of this block, making the entire roof look like all one section instead of having a break in the middle of it. It'll also match these ones a little bit better as well. They're all the same distance apart and everything like that. So, let's go from here to here. We will now go with a grey slab. We want 44. Yeah. Replace air with 44. Boom. And we got ourselves a nice solid roof. See what I mean by adding that extra block in there? I think that really helped. Iron bars, maybe going around the outside could look pretty smart. Adds a little bit of a balcony top to it. Now, some of these houses will have rooftop access. Some of them won't have. I think I can get away with using this one as a somewhat base house. Copying and pasting these and then changing the shape of some of them, taking away the top balcony, adding a rooftop thing, changing the color, and we should be able to get 5 or 6 different types of different looking houses without too much effort. For the windows, we want white stained glass. It's going to look the smartest, the most expensive. It's also going to give a nice reflection on the beach. I might as well do this by hand because there's only like 6 windows in here, and it's just quicker than clicking my wondabout. It's even quicker if I go inside, I think. There. They're not big houses. They're relatively, you know, interior-wise, they're fairly small. But these sort of beach house apartments usually are, aren't they? They're not going to have a crazy amount of room going on in there. I'd really like some sort of detail around the top of each balcony. Maybe a cobblestone wall or something like that. Might sound a little bit weird, but I think it could work where they're clear. Not the where they're to be doing a beach house on. So I'm thinking about something like this. You know, I think I like that. It just adds a little bit of grey. We've already got this texture in the building itself. This is obviously the same texture as what we have on the roof. So it sort of blends in quite nicely. Blends in with the grey that we've already got going around the front. So it's not standing out. It's not too leery. And I think it just does a little bit of work of making these balconies not quite as like large, gross windows. They make them a little bit more neater. Yeah, I think I like that. Still plenty of room to see out of, but just adds a little bit more. I'd really like some sort of wood on here. I know I've got the wooden slabs and the spruce floors, but some sort of detail wood. What have we got under detail? Like trapdoors, buttons, that kind of thing. Even trapdoors, gates and stuff could work. Let's just like grab a couple of sort of woodeny type buttons, woodeny type blocks. And what if we put the trap... I think we'll go with trapdoors, and we'll put the trapdoors along any block that we have a carpet above. So we do something like this. They look a little... Why are they glitchy outside? Oh, there we go. Oh, no. If I look straight at them, they're alright. Is it because they sort of... The interior must have some sort of actual 3D texture now or something like that? See, that does look smart. That does look smart. Apart from the weird glitches, I don't know what all that's about. Did it ever do that before when we had Malice Door Pack or whatever it's called? That door mod that makes them animated when they closed. I didn't get the mod for that. I got the mod because it had some really nice big doors in it, glass doors and stuff for commercial buildings. We haven't really used all that much, to be honest. And there's some really cool doors for a submarine that I want to build. That'll probably be in a separate series at some point. There's been suggestions, multiple in the past, saying you should build a submarine. I think it would be cool to have it just off the beach there and make it look actually as submarine-y as I could build it. But having an actual submarine door that animates when you open it would just make it even better, wouldn't it? I think that looks really cool. Now what we want to do is, because these houses obviously aren't going to be attached, we've got blocks thicker, we've got, you know, stairways sticking out. We can utilize that by growing some leaves up the side. Not a cleaver, just some leaves. Makes them look a little bit more tropical, a little bit more sort of expensive. So we're just going to run these leaves over the top and inside of the roof, here. We'll do some around the front here as well. Now, another big part to these Grand Theft Auto styley houses is that in front of the house is usually some sort of cycle lane or path lane, you know, that you can walk down. If you're on Grand Theft Auto, you usually bike down it. You never really go down it unless you're trying to get away from the police. At least I don't. We'll have some ground crawlers on this side because we've got a big old bit of wall that isn't doing anything. So we definitely want some kind of pathway that goes along here with some palm trees down this side. The path is going to be pretty close to, if not touching, maybe 1 block away from these trapdoors. So the path will go down here, and it can be a nice little straight or curvy. It might have a slight little curve in it. Some palm trees along the side, and it's more of a private beach. You know, we've got some very large beach areas over that side where all the KFC and stuff is, where anybody can go. This one's a little bit more privatized, a little bit more residential, right? So I really like the leaves going around the side. All we need now is some sort of iron bar or some sort of cobblestone wall thing to cover this up. Now this is placed on the bottom half or the top half of the block, which means we should be able to just place things directly, directly on top. Yes. It's always the best way to do it like this. If you do it on the bottom half, as you know, things float. And when they float, they don't really end up looking that good. So we'll have those going around here. We'll have those coming down here. I don't need them up the side of the stairs. It makes it too thick, too much room. And that just sort of makes that look pretty smart, right? I think that looks pretty smart. For the front here, we're still working on a sort of basic figure on how this is going to work. So I'm going to go from here. I can go to underneath the stairs, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go from here to here. Set stone. That makes us a little driveway. We'll have a little hedge. I think that comes down straight from this one. Would look probably the best. Like that. We'll go up here. That makes a little bit of a front. We want a pathway that goes down the side here. Obviously, we're going to be using these blocks because it is our path block. I could keep it on the level that it's at as well. And then drop it down when it gets to the beach area. Probably look the smartest. It doesn't need to be that wide. How many? It needs to be 4 blocks wide would be the most beneficial, I think. It would look the neatest. It would be the most square. So we need to run these down here. It's like a little access corridor for the residents of the area. They have to go underneath there. These go like this. We must be near the end. Okay, so this is where we're going to drop down because we're now in the way of the trapdoors. Obviously, we can't place them on the same level. So we're going to go to full blocks here. And we needed to drop it down anyway. I just didn't know where we were going to drop it down. So this is perfect because obviously we want the path to be flush with the beach. For the width of the beach path itself, this would be 2 blocks thick. A little bit too thin. This would be 3 blocks, getting a little better. 4 blocks, I'm talking about like all the way down. Looks like a pretty good amount. However, I think 5 blocks would be the sort of perfect balance. I'm going to fill that hole, otherwise everybody's going to shout at me. And we obviously don't want it to just finish on it like this, so we're going to add a little bit more beach, a little bit more sand along here. It'd have to go all the way down, but you guys get the gist. We'd add like a couple of layers just to sort of try and build it out a little bit. Something like that. I don't like how in and out that quite is. Something like that. And then the beach line goes across the front. So let's stick this in so it will be flush, so I'm able to copy and paste it without too much sort of afterwork. I'll just have to change the sort of buildings themselves. Okay. Like that. That would go to there. The pathway would start here, which means that would join up to that one. Great. On the outside, the path would go down here next to the hedge. Perfect. I'm not going to put down any plants because the plants are going to be different on each house, and so is the sort of rough shape of it. We want to have, I think this would be cool if it wrapped around just the top one, or maybe up here. This wrapped around the top of the building, so it gave a little bit more shape, or a little bit more detail to the top of this. Like that. We'll stop at 1 block. That one goes over the top. I like it with a 1 block gap. Something like that. Just around the top there adds a little bit more of a lip. We're definitely looking a little bit more expensive now. I could put some windows in the side. Now that the houses aren't actually going to be attached, we could do something like... That's on the right height, isn't it? Yes, that one. This one. And then that one. I think that looks pretty smart. And then I want some sort of, I I can't do them on this side because of the staircase. I want the brown ones back again to do... Well, I won't do a windowsill because the windowsill will be in the way of the pathway, look. But I can certainly go above it. I don't like that block, though. I think we'll go with a grey. The nice clean grey, same as the cobblestone walls, same as the roof. Yeah, much better than the brown. So we'll put those in here, there, and here. Certainly makes a huge improvement. Could put some trapdoors on the side of these as well. I don't think it would be that gross. Little shutters on the side, keep the sand out. They're a little bit fancy looking too, aren't they? This one has a hedge in the way, so we just put those two in. Might as well do the same. Ooh, hello. Might as well do the same along the front. Do we want to hello? Do we want to extend the windowsills to go like that? Ooh, potentially. So they go over the top. Yeah. I think that... Ooh, no. Too fancy. You sort of do that kind of thing on a castle, don't you? You don't do that kind of thing on a house. And then we've got the back windows to do to finish it off. And I think we're then about there for our first beach house, which should be then easily repeatable. Changing up the colours, we'll just go with different coloured clays. Maybe brick, but I think brick looks a little bit too a little bit too suburban. You know, we've got a lot of brick houses over the other side of the city towards the mountain. These we want a little bit more modern-y looking, don't we? I think that is a pretty smart looking beach house, and it's going to look great with multiples of them next to each other. And we can change the heights. We can take away a floor so they're only 2 stories. We can take away one of the balconies at the top. We can put roof access on. We can change the leaves up, change the color, and I bet you it'll look like a completely different house once we're finished with it. That's all I've got time for though this episode. We'll stay here for next episode as well. We'll finish off this. We'll just get a few houses in. I want to go... It would be nice to go all the way down to that road there. Would be really nice. It'd give us a nice line of these beach houses then. And maybe even also next episode, if I've got time, get some palm trees going down the edge of the beach as well. I think that would really sort of kick it all off. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you haven't already, then feel free to subscribe. We shall see you in the next episode.